That belongs in a museum.
Catch the second Nourish, perhaps, with a counterspell. That could be huge. There is the Moonfire, though, so Frozen does have the ability to try and play around it by firing off the Moonfire initially.
Oh, wow, this is a pretty big
Boom.
moment.
Counter
spell, and that's something that you can't really play necessarily around. There's so many range of secrets. That's pretty much the only spell that'd be bad, and Frozen, once again, stuck in a tight spot. That Nourish was paramount to his strategy. This entire combo deck is predicated on the fact that you can draw enough cards. He needs to save this Moonfire with the Gadsden Auctioneer. This is how desperate he is. He needs to hit his Azure Drakes, and maybe even the Wild Growth position. That's how desperate he is.
Mulligan, how many of those cards that they have played, whether how many of their cards they mulliganed, what cards they do in the mid game. There's just a ton of mental processing going on, tracking all that information.
What to do?
B77 is also worried about dying, perhaps.
Yeah.
He's saying if he has Malygos and a couple of combos cards, such as the second Moonfire, Living Roots, I might die. So he's just playing Reno Jackson for 13. I think that's what Frozen wanted to do.
Yeah, I think that Frozen, definitely, the Fandral, a nice draw with that Wrath, finally getting very good value from it.
Maybe even more, depending if he's able to hit something very nicely here. Oh, another Innervate. These Innervates are just so useless, and Frozen's starting to feel desperate. I feel like his hand has always been on Frozen's face since the beginning of this game.
That's interesting. Frozen could have, after that Wrath, swiped face and then punched the Reno.
Oh, you're right.
So he ended up basically doing 2 less damage to B787 to prevent damage to himself.
Yeah, I think he's frazzled. He's not really been able to be efficient in every single corner, and missing that damage could end up being the punishing difference.
Yeah, I mean, most of his cards.
3 damage plus 10, 13, 14 with hero power. He'd be 1 off if he draws Malygos next turn. And remember the 2 damage he missed earlier in the game? After Reno Jackson, he would actually put himself in a position to top deck Malygos and win the game.
And there's
Assuming
there's no armor here for B787.
I don't know. I think B787's firmly won the board.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't even really matter at this point. Also going to remove Fandral. So Frozen's going to be... Oh, no! He's going to be in a position where he can't actually win.
If he had swiped the face that turn and cleared off the Reno Jackson with his hero power rather than swiping Reno Jackson, this would be lethal damage.
But he still has 1 turn, or unless there's enough damage from the Mage. 8, 11, 15, plus the Firelance Portal is 21, 22. That's enough! B787 picks up the Roaring Torch as well. Insurance just in case. What a turn of events here as Frozen has thrown an opportunity to tie up the series, and B787 takes a commanding 3-1 lead.
Yeah, this is a matchup where B787 said, "I've got no."